Are you ready?
Agility from the champion.
Oh, deep
six! That could be it. Delivers this deep six.
This is episode 165. Guess what? After a 1 week vacation by myself, 2 weeks off for Brandon Ash, we are back with another episode of the Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am joined by Brandon, aka Bash, tonight. Brandon, how you doing, man?
Good, we're good. Just been working a lot, but that's life in this day and age, ain't it? How you doing, sir?
Very good, man. Same here, man. We're going to jump right in really quick, and then we'll discuss how life has been lately. But one thing I wanted to start off really quick. Raw wasn't that great to talk about, so I figured tonight we're going to talk a little bit about the CM Punk Cody feud, just a little bit. There's something that really caught my attention that I need to run by you and see what you think about tonight. Raw review, not such a great Raw by any means. For a go-home show, I mean, this SummerSlam build has been kind of bland. But we have a couple key points to Raw. We're not going to cover every single thing, but then couple headlines, and then SummerSlam predictions. So let's jump right in. Talking Punk versus Cody Rhodes is been announced yesterday that that's going to be the night one main event for WrestleMania. I want to ask you, have you noticed a little bit of a slight change in character direction of Cody Rhodes lately?
Yeah, they're starting to put the heel move on him, so one of two things happens then. Either we get the heel from Cody that we've expected, or we get the heel from Punk and everybody goes a complete 180. But I think it's time for heel Cody regardless.
So this is what I noticed. And no podcast is talking about this whatsoever. I'll tell you that right now. Not one podcast is talking about this. Only us. So, Cody Rhodes tells CM Punk to his face the other night on SmackDown that he has to win this. Doesn't need to win it. He has to win the championship. As if Cody Rhodes sounds a little bit desperate here. You want to know what this reminded me of?
Go for it.
This reminded me of WrestleMania 17. Arguably one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time. During the build between Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin used those same exact words to The Rock. Stone Cold Steve Austin said, "I have to beat you." And that just reminded me. And then we saw Stone Cold Steve Austin did everything he can out of desperation to defeat The Rock at WrestleMania 17. And we see Stone Cold Steve Austin go heel. I am seeing a parallel right now that not many people are noticing or talking about, and I could be wrong, but as you know, the radar is always up and ready to go. So I'm noticing a parallel between Cody Rhodes telling CM Punk, "I have to win this." Both of them are face going into this match. CM Punk's a face. Cody Rhodes is a face. I look at CM Punk as the number 1 guy, and CM Punk is the number 2 babyface. So you got your number 1, number 2 babyface going head to head at WrestleMania. I'm sorry, at SummerSlam. Like you had your number 1 and number 2 babyface, Rock versus Steve Austin. I'm seeing a parallel between Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, as we saw at WrestleMania 17, Punk with Austin and Rock, when Cody said, "I have to win this match." Something tells me if there are a couple big things that they could do at SummerSlam, and we're going to talk about them a little later. But something tells me that if Triple H is planning something shocking and something big for SummerSlam this year, that is going to leave everybody talking at the water cooler on Monday night. That's going to give us something to talk about on our SummerSlam post show this Sunday night, is Cody Rhodes turning heel.
I think that has to be the move, but could Punk go heel? He hasn't been heel since returning either.
He hasn't really given me any indication of a heel turn right now.
That's true too.
But
Yeah,
I
it's
will
been-
tell you though, one of these guys definitely has to go heel. I think it's Cody, but one of these guys has to go heel because we have to somehow freshen up the product and get these guys new opponents.
I feel like a Cody nut shot. Like the ref is gonna get hit when the go to sleep is about to be hit, and then just boom, nut shot by Cody into the Cody cutter, and then goes heel, gets booed out of the place. And then AJ Lee comes out and kicks him in the balls. And we get to cheer SummerSlam. After
Do you think it's possible that Cody does everything out of desperation to win this match but fails? CM Punk retains, and then Cody Rhodes snaps.
I feel like that's so outplayed. Like that's just it happens all the damn time. So I think that it's just they're I don't want to say that WWE is better than that, but I think the only way to get people on board is Punk, like, same way that it happened in 17. Punk winning Cody winning the belt by cheating against Punk. I don't know what happened in WrestleMania 17. I was 2. So,
Well, one, it's
Sorry.
one of the greatest WrestleManias ever, and you have to watch it.
is it on like a Netflix or
Yes.
Peacock or whatever show? Okay, I will absolutely watch.
Yes. The
Probably
commentary
on
that Jim Ross did on that pay-per-view with Paul Heyman was spectacular.
Okay, I will absolutely check that out.
WrestleMania
in
17
next days.
was Jim Ross's best commentary work ever.
Okay.
Arguably the best WrestleMania ever. There's maybe 1 or 2 WrestleManias that have come close. 31 and 40.
All right. I was in fact 2.5. So yeah, I wasn't. I did. Was Hulk Hogan still wrestling at that time, or was he long gone?
Hogan was at WrestleMania 18 and 19.
I was dressed up as Hulk Hogan as a baby in 1999. I was 1 year old. So
okay, so yeah, Hogan was in his WCW still.
Gotcha. Okay, very cool. Yeah, my mom put the whole red Hulkamania thing on me and everything. Gave me a little fake mustache. I'm like, that's fantastic. Yeah, I saw pictures of that. I'm like, that's amazing. Okay.
Nice.
Sorry for a strange tangent there, but yes, I did not know WrestleMania 17. So, did Stone Cold win cleanly?
No, so what happened was, get this. Before the match started, it was it was announced at the last second. Actually, everybody found out as the ring announcing started that it was a no disqualification. It was never no disqualification.
Oh
Earlier in the
wow.
night at WrestleMania 17, Vince McMahon was like, "You want shocking? I'll give you shocking." So the night goes on, and it's supposed to be a standard one-on-one match, Rock versus Austin. But then when they started to announce the match, this match is for the WWE Championship, and it is a no disqualification match. That is the first time anyone knew that it was no disqualification. So something was going on. Nobody knew it,
Mm.
and Stone Cold Steve Austin just turned full heel. But the key was Vince McMahon was always against Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Vince McMahon and Stone Cold Steve Austin aligned each other with each other when Vince McMahon handed Stone Cold Steve Austin a chair, and then Stone Cold started beating The Rock with it like unrelentingly, and then Vince McMahon was getting in on it. And that was the heel turn right there because Stone Cold signed a deal with the devil, and Stone Cold beat The Rock for the championship.
Oh wow. Okay. I'll
But his
definitely go
words
watch that
were,
match.
"I have to beat you, Rock. There's no way around it. I have to beat you." And I'm
Mm.
seeing the same rhetoric between Cody Rhodes and CM Punk.
So that's where I'm gonna have to. Am I? Yeah, I'm good. Okay. That's where I'm gonna have to kind of go against your initial claim on Punk winning and then Cody pulling the old, disrespect after faking the respect. It's so played out, man. Like I hope that they I hope that they don't go that way, but we'll see. Like I said, I really do think that it'll be Cody cheating to win the belt. Unless Friday night SmackDown they have one last face off and make it a no disqualification match, the exact same way that WrestleMania 17 did.
Yeah,
So if they're not trying to exactly copy that storyline,
I
then
I,
I'm
I think Cody. If Cody were to turn heel, it'll be in the form of him cheating out of desperation.
100%.
Yeah,
Did
because
Dusty did Dusty ever have like a move or anything that he shouldn't have done, and or like I don't know, was he ever dirty other than being called Dusty?
no, not really. I mean, I don't really know much of Dusty Rhodes' early career when he was NWA or anything like that. But I mean, he was always like a good guy for the most part from the years I was watching until the time he joined NWO in '97 or '98.
Okay, no, that makes sense. Then yeah,
So
Cody's gonna have to be his own guy.
yeah. Cool. Moving on. So we'll talk more about that later. We had Raw review, and let me tell you something. Hadn't we really not taken the last 2 weeks off, and had this not been SummerSlam week, this would have been another good week to take off as far as or as far as not even to bother talking about Raw. But here we are. Not a good Raw by any means. And everybody, every podcast wrestling platform that I listened to over the last 24 hours basically talked down on this Raw, and I do not blame them. We had, let's start with the good first. Let's start with the good. We have a new women's intercontinental champion, Raquel Rodriguez. Well earned, defeating Sol Ruka. Sol Ruka, who has a lot of in ring work that she still really needs to hammer down. Very good athlete, very good future ahead of her. But Raquel Rodriguez is our new Intercontinental Champion, and for the most part, for the last year, pushing 2 years now, Raquel Rodriguez has done a lot of little tweaks, whether in her look, joining Judgment Day, taking advice from Big Daddy Cool about her wrestling moveset, and has really put it together very well. And she's wrestling to her size too, as well. Very well improved. I gotta give her a lot of credit. I like Raquel. Um, I connect more with her now than I ever did a couple years ago when she kept on showing her back every single week, which was annoying to me. But anyway, what you think of this match? We had a lot of brouhaha interference from Judgment Day. Io tried to come for the save, but to no prevail. Um, Sol Ruka was knocked out with the help of Liv Morgan in the corner, and Raquel Rodriguez put the Tejada bomb on Sol Ruka for the win. What are your thoughts here?
I felt like it was time. Like it was one of those where Judgment Day needs the belts, and then I don't know. Like it was just time. She got a few chances before, wasn't able to cash in, so finally able to cash in. Obviously, with Roxanne and Liv helping out, makes it a little easier. Soul did, like you said, have the help of EO running out, but definitely wasn't enough. And bloody Raquel as well. We got some color in this one, so that was pretty cool. You don't see too much color in a women's match, so that was definitely on accident. So I don't know if I missed the exact pinpointed time that had happened, but it looked like it was either her mouth or her nose. So
I believe it was her nose.
damn, yeah, that's a tough one when you're going up because it really is a game of inches in a lot of sports. So you could be trying to fake and then all of a sudden catch somebody right on the bridge. That bone, I should say, very easy to break in the nose. So not that she has a full broken nose, but we might see the champion with a cool little face mask.
So good for Raquel, new Intercontinental Champion. So that was the good of Raw last night. Let's talk about the not so good, and then we're going to talk about the even worse.
Oh gosh.
We have the good, the bad, and the ugly here. Oba-Femi opening segment against Brock Lesnar, and some of this logic did not make sense one bit. First of all, you have Oba-Femi in the ring. So hold on, why are we doing a weigh-in? First of all, this isn't boxing. We don't have divisions. This isn't UFC. There's no weight classes. Why are we doing a weigh-in? First of all,
They've done this a few times, and I'm like, what the
it's
hell? Like,
ridiculous.
I understand that, like, when they're coming, like, when they walk down, they have their weight set. And I guess it's a heavyweight bout, so they're trying to show their sizes, but I don't know.
They're trying to prove that these guys are equally matched or something.
Which, speaking of, I mean, I don't know if you plan on saying it or not, but as it goes, Brock weighs in at 303. That's the first time I've heard him be over 300 pounds. So I don't know if that's true or not, if he is putting on weight in his age, but he was always billed at like 285. So that is pretty crazy that he put on another, 15, 20 pounds. But
Unbelievable.
I
Yeah,
don't,
and
I
and
don't
and
believe it.
then
But
Obafemi, they have the cage down as a visual. Obafemi comes out. Triple H is already in the ring. I think Adam Pearce may have already been in the ring too.
Mhm.
Cops are in the ring, and they have their guns on them and everything. And Obafemi is in there, and they're talking, and then Brock Lesnar comes out, and you see Lesnar lock Oba-Femi in the cage as Paul Heyman is busy hyping up the match. Lesnar saying Oba won't be able to beat Brock as he's defeated Undertaker in Hell in a Cell. He's even ended Undertaker's WrestleMania streak. Lesnar says he'll see Brock at SummerSlam. I'm sorry, Lesnar says he'll see Oba at SummerSlam. You know, Oba says, "Run away like you always say. Saturday is coming. Hell in a Cell is coming, and Oba's coming for you." You know, he says, "I'm not going to be locked in with you. You're going to be locked in with me." And then you see Oba-Femi taking out the officers. One, how am I supposed to believe this is realistic with Oba-Femi taking out these officers? First of all, in real life, Oba-Femi would be put away in jail immediately. And I think you're muted.
Oh, I just said, oh, yes, I did. Sorry.
He would, if Oba-Femi in real life would have been put to jail immediately. How am I supposed to believe this, first of all? Why couldn't they just make this a little bit more realistic? There was another podcast I was listening today, and there was one point where you had Oba-Femi and Brock Lesnar face to face. Obviously, the cage was separating them. Why couldn't you just have Oba-Femi rip part of the cage open and to show off his strength, or rip the door off, and then you see Oba back away in fear and head back towards the ring entrance, and then you have, you know, Oba say, "Oh, you run away," blah 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 blah. That would have made more sense to me than Oba just doing nothing and beating on the cops for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
They
Triple
should have
H
been
was in there just kind of like looking at the whole thing.
putzing around, as I was going to say. I mean, they should have done the Mark Henry skit where he breaks the chain and then, like, goes face to face with Brock, maybe get like a couple of swings off, and then they get pulled away and then start running at each other and do that whole diving thing. Like, they don't need to hit each other that much to create that tension. So yeah, I think that they should have done the Mark Henry thing where he goes and breaks the chain. Who sings that song? It's Fleetwood Mac, The Chain. But yes, that would have been, like you said, a much better move. But him basically calling him out for being a coward and then attacking a bunch of pseudo LA California officers, aka actors.
And I don't know if you saw the part where there was a botched powerbomb attempt with Oba.
Might have missed it.
Yeah, so Oba was powerbombing one of the cops, and it was clearly a botch. I don't know whose fault it was, but after that, you see Oba finally get the power bomb, the sit down power bomb on him, and then Oba kicks the cop out of the ring like it looked like a legit kick, like a receipt for messing up the spot.
I mean, those fake wrestlers are, or normally those actors are actual wrestlers that they have from developmental, anyways. So like they are able to take bumps. I've noticed that, as well as a lot of former security guys become wrestlers, I should say. I can speak. I mean, yeah, LA Knight was a security guard in a few different segments.
MJF.
MJF was a security guard. Kurt Hawkins used to security guard for a while before starting. Bobby Roode, right? So there's definitely a lot of guys that started off that way. So if you ever if you see some of the guys that take a bump pretty well, you'll end up seeing them in NXT in like a year or two.
Crazy. But this segment was not that good for, like, just the logic wasn't there. If this segment never even happened, like, it would have been like whatever. Like, how many face-offs are we gonna see every single week leading to a pay-per-view, which is crazy. Every week there's a face-off. A face-off between Oba and Brock. A face-off between Seth and Roman. Every single week. But anyway, I digress. And the really bad of Monday Night Raw, the Joe hendry-Hausen concert.
This didn't happen. I don't want to talk about it. Sorry, I don't want to talk about it. This is blasphemous. It didn't happen. I don't care.
Tell me that song wasn't stuck in your head today.
No, it was not a good one. They were offbeat. I didn't understand the girl dancers, who half of them didn't know when to take the mask off, so they messed that up on the walk. They all looked dumb. Then you had the midgets come back again. Sorry, I don't know if you can say that word anymore. You had the mini Hausens come out and do their little thing, and then the guy playing the tambourine was off too. So it was.
I noticed that. How about the fake organ?
Yes,
the fake keyboard.
not even playing anything. It was just so bad.
I believe that you are cursed. I believe in you are cursed. I don't know. I think WWE was trying to create something really catchy here and like a viral moment, and it just wasn't. I was like, what are we doing here? I could tell you, AEW fans definitely wasn't for the AEW market. That's for sure. Any of those AEW fans are probably that were watching Raw last night were probably crapping all over this. I mean, I guess maybe they were trying to cater to the little kids, but other than that, it was really bad.
It's just the only thing that was cursed was my ears listening to that, and that will officially.
It was not good.
No, I was not a fan. But you know what? They try. They definitely try to make it work, but they don't, and it's whatever.
What did you think of the Roman Reigns Seth Rollins segment last night on Raw?
Also, just sleepy time. Like, hey brother, you want to have a match? Hey brother, let's have a match. Like, LA Knight was so spot on. Like, it's just, this is just. Oh, I have to beat. Same thing. I have to beat you. Like, it's like, of course you have to beat him. That's the whole point of wrestling. And then he's like, "Oh, you're better in all these things," but Seth says, "I'm a better wrestler." What the, like? So what? Have you not seen Roman literally won 40 matches in a row over the span of 4 years? Like, I'm a better wrestler. Like, it's just silly at this point. There's no attacking each other. And then what? At the end, it was the chair shot. I think the chair shot heard around the world. Like, the obsession with the chair. It was 10 years ago that the Shield broke up.
These builds have not been very good at all. I mean, with Cody Rhodes and Punk, I mean, they have like one little last ditch effort to really promote their title match, because there's a point there's part of their story that they have not even told yet. And that is how Cody Rhodes helped create AEW, basically paving the way for CM Punk to have an alternate home for wrestling while he was still out of WWE.
That is very true.
So Cody Rhodes basically paved the way for CM Punk to come back to WWE. And they have not touched on that. They can touch on it without having to mention the letters AEW. Who cares if they even mention AEW on TV? Who cares? But Cody Rhodes basically paved the way for CM Punk to come back to WWE by creating AEW.
I mean, basically, Cody Cody is both the path as well as the pathless, because he left after CM Punk left, then created a company so that CM Punk could come back. Then he left. Cody left first to take on Seth, who was basically CM Punk's biggest enemy. CM Punk comes back a little bit later, and Seth hates him when he comes back. So, like, it was a real, like you said, like, Uno reverse in multiple ways, and I'm surprised that they didn't touch on that. But then CM Punk could literally be like, yeah, okay, Stardust. Like, whatever you say, bro. Like, you put on face paint and pretended that you were from a mythical land just to make a whole company that people watched because of me. So, like, yes, Cody can say something about it, but CM Punk can flip it right in his favor, or right in his own favor, I should say. So, I guess it's that double-edged sword. Like, yeah, you can go against CM Punk and be like, I'm the reason that you were allowed to come back, but then CM Punk can flip it right in his face and say, yeah, but you also came back. Like, everything that you did was because I made AEW better. So I don't know. I guess we'll see.
So yeah, there's definitely meat on the bone as far as promo battles go. So we'll see what we get Friday night on that go home show. But other than that, the build to SummerSlam has not really been a great one this year. Supposedly WWE again, this is all with the IWC saying we don't know this all to be true. But supposedly WWE struggling to sell tickets for SummerSlam at to get to close to full capacity, to the point where they had to bring down tickets to $25. I mean, I wanted to go. I had my eyes on this pay-per-view to go to. Had the Minnesota Twins been in town, and I would have knocked out another baseball stadium, and I would have been at a pay-per-view. But anyhow, Twins aren't in town. In fact, their home game is tomorrow, and they won't be in town for SummerSlam weekend. So, I've been to so many SummerSlams as is, so I figure, you know what? I like to whenever I go to out of state for these wrestling events, I like it to be places I've never been before, because it gives me an opportunity to travel more and sightsee, and then go to MLB baseball games. And speaking of which, my Boston Red Sox are losing right now, 1-0. We just made a major trade on Sunday morning, Saturday night, late night, Sunday morning. We traded our really, really good pitcher, Connolly Early, who will be back soon, for Chris Meade for the boss, so we can have that extra bat in our lineup. So that trade happened on Sunday. We get him in the lineup. Last night, he gets hit with a pitch. And the diagnosis finally came out today that he has a broken wrist and he's going to be out for the season. We just got a bat in the lineup in this trade for giving up one of our best pitchers. And now he is out for the season.
That's
unbelievable.
That's just brutal.
Unbelievable. We needed that bat. He 17 home runs, 49 RBIs, having a good season. He would have been great for the Green Monster home runs, and yeah, so that happened. So I'm not too thrilled. Between last night's Raw and the news I'm finding out, it's not a very good wrestling and sports day the past 24 hours or so. But anyhow, moving on, we have some wrestling news for this week. Let me see if I click on the right thing here. Hold on. I haven't used that in a while. So, breaking news. We have a couple things this week that has happened since we last talked. First off, Vince McMahon charges have been dropped. So this case is basically closed. Is it possible that we could see Vince McMahon back at SummerSlam?
I was thinking that, but like, really, really.
I don't know if TKO really wants to bring back Vince McMahon. Even when like case is closed. But the eyes and the attention that WWE would get if he comes back, I gotta be really honest with you. Vince McMahon looks like crap. He's not aging very well at all.
No more babies to drink. That everybody caught on.
Yeah. So that's one of the news reports that came out this week. Vince McMahon charges are dropped. We'll probably talk more on that later. And WWE now owns Busted Open Radio.
Huh.
I love Busted Open Radio. So, Busted Open Radio also includes like the David LaGreca show of Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer. So a lot of fans were not happy about this because basically, since now Busted Open's part of WWE Radio, they can no longer talk about AEW.
Makes sense.
But let me tell you, there's a lot of great platforms that talk about AEW, like the Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast. So make sure, if those of you guys are listening, make sure you guys tune in 9 o'clock on Thursday night as we talk about Dynamite and on the road to AEW All In, arguably AEW's biggest pay-per-view of the year.
Oh, you and your self-plug. No, I'm just playing. Smart self-plug. No, and I will say AEW's pay-per-view this weekend, definitely not one of their best, but they're trying to build towards London, which I could see a few either rematches or like other guys that faced off in the past, kind of building towards another rematch. Some news stories that could be made. Like, there's definitely a few matches to be made over the next month. So I'm gonna probably start watching AEW again because,
the wrestling is very good. There's no doubt about it. But I got to my buddy's house 7 o'clock, right when the pay-per-view started. 3 hours in, 10 o'clock. They still had 3 or 4 matches left to go. I'm like, dude, I'm tired. I gotta be at work the next day. I can't even finish this.
No,
like, this is an in between. It's not even a major pay-per-view. Like, why are we doing 5-hour pay-per-views every single pay-per-view?
Yeah, this was 4:45. That was long. I expected it to be 7 to 11. And then they really pushed. I mean, they normally do 8 to 12:30. So I was fine with the 7 to 11:45. I could take that. 12:30 was starting to be way too late.
It was too late. Usually I start turning into a pumpkin after like 10:30, 11 o'clock.
I feel like if they should keep the 7 o'clock time. I think that was smart. If they're going to keep 5-hour pay-per-views, I think 7 to 12 is perfect. Be off of the air by 12, kiss all the babies, get everybody out of there. Great time.
Like, some of the matches, they just overdo their stay.
Yeah, there are
like there were some matches that we don't need multiple 25, 30-minute matches. Yeah. Like, the women's match was pretty good. I mean, that could have been trimmed down by 5 minutes. The Kyle Fletcher match could have been trimmed down easily 10, 15 minutes. Like, there's some matches where every match doesn't have to be long. You don't need for the East Coast, and I know we're getting off track here, but for the East Coast, it kind of alienates the fans on the East Coast who are responsible and who need to be up very early in the morning, 5, 6 a.m. in the morning, that can't stay up that late. if you're gonna do a 5-hour pay-per-view, let's start this at like middle of the afternoon. Started at 3 or 4 o'clock, ended at like 8, 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. Now,
It
if you're
would
doing
cater
a
to
Sunday,
everybody in the United States. It'll be on earlier in the day for everybody. Nobody has to worry about staying up late. And
the real thing is, and this is where, like, football Sunday, obviously one of the biggest plays of any television from 1 o'clock until 11:30. Like that's, I've literally kept football on the entire 10 hours. Like you said, people are around to watch, and a 1 o'clock Eastern time is 10 a.m. Pacific. Start at 5 o'clock Eastern time. California has a nice lunch. You finish by 10 p.m. You finish by 7 o'clock over there is dinner time. I don't understand why more of them don't start at 5 or 6 o'clock.
and the
Starting at
same
eight
thing with
o'clock is gross.
and same thing with UFC. Like, why are we starting pay-per-views at like 9, 10 o'clock at night?
I'm
Like,
so, I'm
start.
so I'm so glad with how they changed it. It used to be either 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock, or the prelims were like 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock was the main card. I was losing my mind. They've now switched it to 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and it's done by 11. And it's a Saturday night. I am in heaven.
The
It's been the
UFC
best
starts.
choose
The
they've done.
pay-per-view starts at 8.
Yes.
That's what it should be.
It used to be either 6-9 or 6-8-10 or 7-10. It was
But either
third
way, like the main
time.
card didn't start till 10 o'clock at night, and you're not getting away from your TV till like anytime between 12:30, 1:15, 1:30 maybe.
Yep. It was just because they were always in California, Arizona, Vegas, Texas, all these places that are 3 hours, behind Eastern time. So they need to do it for a more favorable time for them. So that's where, it ends at 10 o'clock. Now you go out, go drink after the event, have fun. For us, it used to end at 1 o'clock. I'm like, I'm already exhausted. I'm not going out. I'm not doing anything. I'm done. Like this is it.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's where I'm very glad they changed it to 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and on Paramount
So,
too for $8.99 a month.
wow. So, Busted Open is no longer allowed to talk about anything but WWE on WWE Radio 156. I will say this: I subscribed to the Sirius app to see if I would use channel 156 because I have it in my car already. So I had to do a separate subscription for my phone. So I put on the app just to see like what would be on there. So we'll see if I keep it around. But one little thing I wanted to touch on: did you watch WWE Unreal?
No, so
Okay,
sorry.
no, not a problem. So it was okay. It was whatever. WWE Unreal. There was an episode where they were talking about Braun Breaker and the decision making of like the Royal Rumble winner this year, and they in the war room they were talking about how maybe they shouldn't go Braun Breaker because they're thinking about that if they had a Braun Breaker win the Royal Rumble, that maybe they'd be pushing people down, pushing Braun Breaker down people's throats, which doesn't make sense because they pushed Roman Reigns down our throats for years before he actually became acceptable to us. They pushed John Cena down our throats. They pushed Hulk Hogan down our throats. Stone Cold Steve Austin organically got over. The Rock organically got over. But for the most part, WWE has pushed stars down our throats. So why is this a problem now? Oh, we're too afraid to push a Braun Breaker down people's throats. If you ask me, there was another podcast talking about it today. Braun Breaker is possibly in the doghouse. In hindsight, he should have won that match against CM Punk on the first Raw of the new year. He was already over. He was right there. again, unfortunately, he had gotten injured, so I don't know how it would have played out if that would have been avoidable if Braun Breaker was champ. If maybe they would have done a different storyline or a different angle where he didn't have to try to flip a table over, where that's where he hurt himself. But yeah, they should have had Braun Breaker win the title first night for Raw.
Now I was 100% on board with that. My initial thought was everyone getting hurt completely killed the idea. The Vision were supposed to be the main thing. They were going to have the tag belts, the IC belts, or the United States belt. I can't remember which one's on which brand anymore. Um, the IC belt is on Raw. So, Bronson was going to have the IC belt, and then Braun would have the main belt all by WrestleMania or SummerSlam. Then everybody started getting hurt, and it was killed. I figured Punk was going to win that night, and then it was going to be the Vision against the Bloodline, and Roman was going to lose the belt at WrestleMania. That was my initial thought. Like, there was just so much that could have happened in that time. So yeah, I think he's more in not the doghouse, but the puppy house, I would say, because I don't think WWE is ready to push the young talent. I still think that they're in the mindset that 35 to 45 are the winners. And it doesn't make any sense to me when you have all these 25, like, you have all these 25 to 30-year-olds that are doing really well, and yet they're not the ones that are really winning, or they're winning but not getting the exact pushes that they should. So now we're on I don't know, I guess a resurgence tour for these guys. It's become basically just a nostalgia tour. And it's like, yeah, we watched Seth and Roman fight together 15 years ago. When did they start? 2014, so 12 years ago, and broke up. And now they're going to fight each other again. Okay. We watched Cody Rhodes wrestle with his brother as Stardust and Goldust. We watched CM Punk leave 15 years ago to then come back to wrestling. Like, it's nostalgia tours now for these 40-year-old guys. Like, come on. Give
Yeah,
me
and
some young talent.
the same people have been in the same people have been in the biggest main events for the past couple of years now. Like interchange CM Punk and Roman and Cody, the last couple WrestleManias and SummerSlams, and the main event scene's kind of getting a little dull right now. And they had the chance to have Oba-Femi in a championship match at SummerSlam, but they botched that whole thing up, and it looks like Oba will probably win the Royal Rumble, unless they heat somebody else up and go a different direction. But it looks like it's gonna be Oba versus Roman Reigns, with Oba winning the Royal Rumble. So we'll get a new guy in the main event scene. Like Oba's kind of there, but maybe they want to give him a bigger stage. Obviously, it'd be WrestleMania 43, Saudi Arabia. But anyway, so yeah, we'll see what happens with Braun Breaker. But Braun Breaker seems like he's like the less important member of the Vision right now. Austin Theory's got the girl. Logan Paul's doing the talking. Bronson Reed's gonna be back very soon. Um, it seems like Braun Breaker is just kind of just there, and he doesn't look happy either.
Yeah, no. He doesn't. I don't think he wants the tag belts. I don't think he expected that. Obviously, Logan got hurt. And, here's how I at least see it. Being a winner is a good paycheck, but he just had a match against Otis and Akira Tozawa. Do you really think Braun Breaker expected that in his 2026 bingo card?
No.
So, yeah, I think he expected to face guys like Oba, like Roman, like Randy Orton, Cody,
Yeah.
all these guys that are big names. But
Yeah.
he's still young. He has time. I think that's also what they're trying to do. Is I always just call it slow burn these guys, but then you're at the risk of getting an LA Knight where he's been around for 3 years. He should have gotten the chances, and he never got the chance. So
Yeah, I mean, I feel like LA Knight's heating up again now, so we'll have to see.
I don't know
But
when we're
yeah,
going to talk about that, but that's at least the only thing to really talk about on Raw and SmackDown because now it's crossing both brands, and this has been a fantastic feud.
yeah. I mean, LA Knight, and we're gonna talk about it during the SummerSlam predictions, but um, LA Knight's been great on the mic, and but last night was kind of like I felt like a copy and paste from another promo that he did a couple weeks ago, saying the same thing over and over. But again, not much good came out of Raw last night. I did love the fact that LA Knight was copying the Usos entrance, doing the little motion. I thought that was pretty funny. And Solo Sikoa, I mean, he's developing a character on his
Bow,
own, which I like.
bow, pew, pew,
Yeah,
pew. I'm like, yo, who's doing that? Solo shows up. Solo as a comedy face, fantastic. It's like how Kane was. He did the Kane thing with who was that in? I think it was Hogan and Rock or no? Yeah,
I
it
think
was
so.
Hogan and Rock, and then Kane comes in and he says like, "It were 10,000 Canaanites," and then like Canaanites, like yes, he pulled that where he was like the muscle Royce Keys and the guy that everybody got saying. Like Solo's funny, man. Like the fact that that man never spoke. That's the crazy thing is he came into the WWE and didn't speak. Now you give him a mic and he's one of the funniest guys. Is just it's fantastic. They found his character. So
Great.
I hope they keep that going. I think we're now gonna get more cross brands and Solo versus Jacob is gonna feed families. Can't wait for that one.
So let's talk about it because I have like a lot of theories here. SummerSlam predictions.
What do you want to talk about? Sorry.
Okay, let's move. We'll move along. We're gonna actually get to the LA Knight solo thing really quick in about a minute or two, but SummerSlam predictions match by match. We have Liv Morgan defends against Io Sky. This is Liv Morgan's first title defense since winning the belt at WrestleMania. So it'll be her first title defense in 3 months. Um, this is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, that's not usually the WWE way of things, doing things. I know in real life in UFC, these titles are defended once every 3 to 6 months, somewhere in between, maybe every 4 months. Like one particular title's defended, but anyway, Liv Morgan defends against Io Sky. Io Sky, who defeated Liv Morgan at King of the Ring. Um, who do you have here? I mean, considering this is Liv Morgan's first title defense, also due to the fact that Liv Morgan's never beaten Io Sky, I think Liv Morgan retains here.
I think the beginning of the dissension of Judgment Day goes one of two ways. Is either Liv loses and then gets obsessed with winning a belt again and either goes off to SmackDown and does something crazy or challenges Raquel for the belt, and that would be hilarious. And that would be a dissension. Or Liv retains it and then Roxanne has nothing to do, and then she just goes on a rampage and attacks both of them and be like, I want both of you guys' belts. I don't care. Like I'm taking
So
yours.
that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. They may not even do that. They may have Roxanne win Money in the Bank briefcase, and then you have a little dissension because maybe especially with Liv because Roxanne could then technically cash in on Liv Morgan,
Mhm.
or Rhea Ripley or whoever the interim champion is going to be. Um, or if she wants to use it on a mid card title, she could definitely do that. Although that's not really the money in the bank way of doing things. But Austin Theory did it when he won his U.S. title. But anyhow, I think they slow burn this a little more. Roxanne wins the briefcase, and then I think that's what causes a little dissension, and then Roxanne possibly cashes in Liv Morgan.
I like it.
I think that's how we get there.
I think that
Uh,
makes sense.
Oba-Femi versus Brock Lesnar, Hell in a Cell. Uh, they got to get this one right. It's Oba-Femi winning the rubber match. Do you foresee Paul Heyman turning on Lesnar? I mean, it probably won't make sense if you have Oba-Femi as the plan to win the Rumble and then face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 43. But do you think it's possible that Paul could turn on Lesnar here? Although we have seen it done when he turned on Lesnar in the main event of Survivor Series 92 against the Big Show. So it's kind of been done already, but do we see any possible alliance with Heyman and Oba-Femi one day? If not SummerSlam?
I was thinking that, and I read the same thing. That other people are thinking it as well. I like the idea. I just think, like you said, if they're building towards Roman, then there might. I mean, that would be perfect. Because like former guy versus present guy, we already think Brock is maybe retiring again. Like I'm very confused. So
I don't see any scenario where Brock Lesnar wins.
I
Oba-Femi's winning this match.
Yeah, I don't know because now it being in the cage, it eliminates Paul Heyman being able to do much. So I guess we will see. But yeah, I'm gonna say like
I
you
mean,
said,
probably
Oba
the
should
worst that's going to
win.
happen is Oba wins, and you see Paul Heyman on the outside just yelling and screaming and crying for Brock Lesnar losing, and I don't know. That's probably it. They're probably not going to overcomplicate it, but LA Knight and Solo and Royce Keys versus the Bloodline Usos and Jacob Fatu. Okay, so I don't know if you see a little pattern here, but I see for SummerSlam, I see a couple different scenarios of possible heel turns. We talked about one of the possibilities earlier in the show, which we'll talk about again. We've already mentioned Paul Heyman, but that's a very long shot. They're not going to do that. But is Solo playing LA Knight and Royce Keys, and then possibly will join the Bloodline, Usos, Jacob Fatu, and Roman Reigns?
No,
You don't see
I
it?
think I no. I think that them. I do think one of the other Fatu or Sokoa brothers or Usos.
Yes, I forgot about him. Zilla Fatu.
Yeah, now that they have a bunch of those guys involved, I feel like he'll come in and actually help the bloodline and grow the bloodline a little bit better. And then be like, hey, Solo, you're a traitor. Like, screw you. So that could be the move. Or he could help Solo out and be Solo's right hand man and then take out Fatu or take out one or both of the Usos, whatever the case is. So,
Okay,
yeah, I don't
so
know.
we do think we have a new bloodline family member being introduced that will impact the match.
I could see it.
I think they help out the bloodline.
Yeah, that would
I think they
potentially be
help
the
out the
move.
bloodline, and then at some point, LA Knight, Solo, and Royce Keys are going to have somebody align with them so they can build towards War Games Survivor Series. So you'll have Roman join um, the Bloodline, Usos, and Jacob Fatu. You'll probably have Seth Rollins align with LA Knight, Solo, and Royce Keys, and maybe one other person. And there's your War Games match this year.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Here's another possibility of that I was thinking about of a possible heel turns this weekend, but we have the Bella Twins and Paige versus Fatal Influence. I was thinking maybe Paige turns on the Bellas. But either way, Fatal Influence just won the WWE Women's Tag Team titles at Saturday night's main event at Madison Square Garden, and they have been on a roll. I'm not a fan of 50-50 booking. So, I mean, it's worked if you're doing like a best of three type of thing. But otherwise, I'm not really a fan of 50-50 booking. I think you got to keep putting over Fatal Influence here.
Yeah, I would say so. If they're trying to grow that like group, then yeah, that's probably the best bet.
And JC James should have been in the. We'll get to that in a second, but she should have been in the ladder match for interim WWE Women's Championship. But we'll get to that in a second. We have Cody Rhodes against CM Punk. We talked about this in length. This is another big possibility where we can see Cody turning heel. You know, taking every length behind the referee's back, just starts doing heel stuff to win. So, but to no avail. I don't know. This is a tough one for me to call. I think I'm just trying to think of what they may have planned long term for CM Punk and that World Heavyweight Championship, or should I say WWE title? Um, I have a feeling that they may go CM Punk here so that they set up a Finn Balor or Sami Zayn versus CM Punk again. I don't know.
No, I'm with you on that one.
This is a
I
tough
like
one.
it.
This is a tough one. But Cody could very well win it in a way where he turns heel. And then when he does, maybe we run it back, Cody versus Punk, but then we'll see a fresh set of opponents, for Cody too. So, he'll go against guys like Finn Balor, maybe Damian Priest, because we saw that face to face the other day.
Yeah, it could work.
So and SummerSlam Night 2, Penta versus Chad Gable. This match could be the show stealer of the weekend, not just night one. Chad Gable has some great momentum. I love his story. This is kind of one of my favorite builds. For literally the past few months, ever since Grande versus Grande. I have Chad Gable becoming the Intercontinental Champion and defeating Penta. What do you think?
Yeah, I could see that. I like it. I'm gonna go with you on that one. I think Chad has gone on his redemption arc. He's come back. He deserves a belt, deserves a push, and Penta's had that belt for a while. So I think it might be time. But then I also don't know what you do with Penta, and he is still a star. A lot of people love him and Zero Miedo. So I feel like Gable's a guy that needs the belt for some type of push. Penta doesn't really need it.
Yeah, you know what? I would like to see Penta go over to SmackDown and join Ray Phoenix to start beefing up that tag team division. In fact, I should only be seeing one set of tag teams in WWE. We don't need two tag team championships.
That is true. And also, speaking of, AEW is going to get a lot of signings and a lot of new old faces in the next few weeks because a lot of the 90-day, 60-day, 30-day have all been up.
Yeah. One, we could expect Motor City Machine Guns. We could
Yep.
probably expect New Day. All of them to be on TV by All In. Um, I would expect maybe Sheamus, and then Bailey by the end of the year. I would definitely. Bailey's basically been written off TV for now. Until I don't know when, but that looked like a clear write off to me, if you ask me. Um, so she might let her contract run out, or maybe she's in discussions with WWE for a better contract. But honestly, like Bailey's been on a downward spiral ever since WrestleMania 40, because like it's like she was just doing so good as a heel, and then when she turned face, in my opinion, just wasn't really hitting, you know. And they really have had nothing for her, and I blame booking for that. So she's done it all in WWE, and I think a change of scenery would be great for Bailey. Um, you know, to win championships for another company that she's never won before. I think it would be a great thing for her to go. The women's ladder match, number one contender match. The winner will become the interim WWE Women's Champion, as Rhea Ripley should be back soon, but she's been out for a little while with minor injury. I believe it was meniscus or something. But women's ladder match for the interim world title. You have Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill versus Charlotte versus Chelsea Green versus either Julia or Lash Legend. That will be determined this Friday night at SmackDown. I think you got to go Julia here, just for the style of the match. But I'm looking at this field here, and when they do decide to have the interim women's champion face Rhea Ripley, um, another podcast is talking about it today. The biggest matches you could probably get out of this would be either Jade Cargill or Charlotte to face Rhea Ripley, to merge the WWE Women's Championship. So I think I'm gonna have to go Charlotte here.
No
I'm
question.
gonna have to go Charlotte.
No
Jade,
question.
honestly, Jade's just gotta get off my TV. I'm done. I don't care what her abs look like. It just she just doesn't do it for me. She didn't have a good title run either, partially because of bad booking too as well. So it's not really all her, but I think you gotta go Charlotte here, and then have that Charlotte versus Rhea match, possibly at Money in the Bank. I would say let's go. That'd be great.
That would be another one where they'd be able to like bury the Money in the Bank in 5 minutes. Have whoever wins Money in the Bank just cash in on that interim belt. Whoever, like literally whoever wins in that moment, and then just cash in right away.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would expect the winner of this match, they'll be the interim WWE Women's Champion, and I would expect um that person to be cashed in on, or they merge the titles. But I would say by Money in the Bank, I think those titles would be merged back. So I don't really know why they're doing this interim championship thing. I mean, it always used to be a thing where if you can't defend your title within 30 days, you get stripped of the title. I mean, I don't know why they're doing the whole interim thing. Maybe because UFC does it. I don't know. But anyway, uh, Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor, number one contenders match for WWE title. Honestly, I'm gonna be rooting for Finn Balor here. He's been on I was at the SummerSlam where he won the title, and at the Raw the next night at Barclays Center where Finn had to drop the title. I'm sitting first row for that. And it's been 10 years, and Finn Balor has never really gotten one. I don't even think he had gotten a return match or anything like that. But he's never gotten any push to the title scene since, which is absolutely mind blowing. 10 years, he looks better than ever now. And he's kind of on his own right now, breaking away from Judgment Day, trying to go back to his old face persona character, what have you. I think you got to go Finn here, but I don't think they'll pull the trigger on Finn, to be honest with you. Even if Finn does win and gets the title match against either Punk or Cody Rhodes.
That's another one I was juggling with, but yeah, I don't think that Sammy, like, I feel like you need to have a little bit more of Sammy's downward slide before giving him a chance at Money in the Bank and also winning Money in the Bank. So,
So, yeah. Yeah,
I
you
don't
can't
know.
forget that you have Money in the Bank looming in October, but I think they go Finn Balor. I think they go Finn Balor here, beating Sami Zayn. But again, I don't think it's going to pan out to Finn Balor winning the title just right now. I feel like you got to heat him up a little longer, um, to maybe get us to like WrestleMania or SummerSlam. But they gotta get him some momentum. To be honest with you, wins and losses do make a big deal, and they go a long way. Trick Williams defending against Baron Corbin. This kind of came out of nowhere. I don't even think this. I don't know when this was announced. It just popped up out of nowhere. Maybe it was announced on SmackDown and I didn't see it. But Baron Corbin came back like 2 weeks ago, if that, and attacked Trick and Carmelo, interfering in that match, causing that match to go to no decision. And suddenly Baron Corbin has a title match against Trick Williams at SummerSlam. Whew. Wow. Only barely 2 weeks back in the company, and Baron Corbin has a title shot, which is a pretty decent chance he actually might win.
Why is Baron Corbin on my TV? I hate two guys in the industry for no reason. I've spoken about them both multiple times. Baron Corbin and Karrion Cross. Why is Baron Corbin
Oh
back on my
no, I love
TV?
Carrion.
No, I'm fine with people loving him. I've
Yeah,
only
he's
gotten
reinvented himself
like that's what I'm
easily.
saying. Like I've only gotten when I first watched him for years, he was just such a lame, like he was ran by Vince McMahon still, and just every
Oh yeah,
chance I got to watch Karrion Cross was just like it was he
it
was
was
just
bad.
tanking every week. Then he came back and I thought it was just like to me, it was just cringy and goofy because I already didn't like him. But I can imagine if somebody did enjoy him, that level of his persona did seem pretty good. I just already thought he was not it, so that came off as cringy. But
Yeah,
same with Baron Corbin, like he's another guy, just every remake he does of himself is more and more cringe and just doesn't work in wrestling. And the fact that he was happy Corbin or sad Corbin, and then he won
broke
a
Corbin.
$1 million in Vegas. Right, he was sad Corbin, then broke Corbin, then he won $1 million in Vegas and became rich Corbin or happy Corbin, and then happy Corbin was with freaking Madcap Moss, stupid name, Riddick Moss,
So
nonsense.
dumb.
Just like every iteration of Baron Corbin has just been worse than the next. And now, like you said, he comes in with basically the same lone wolf persona he used to have. Like he's just wearing black and upset that WWE cut him and didn't value him at first. So now he's going to show why he should have been valued all along. Get out of here. Go to AEW where you belong. Get off my TV screen. Sorry.
And last but not least, Roman Reigns is defending against Seth Rollins. Honestly, I mean, Roman Reigns is gonna win this match. I do not. I'd be shocked if Seth
Roman.
Rollins wins. Uh, this Roman Reigns current title run has plenty of legs under it. They got the whole bloodline story to tell. Roman will not be losing to Seth Rollins this Sunday night. Roman's gonna get the win, and then now let me ask you:
Mhm.
is it possible that we could get Oba-Femi's music to hit after Roman defeats Seth Rollins and be like, I'm cashing in my King of the Ring title win now?
Mm, nah, I don't think so. I like the idea, I like the premise, but yeah, I don't see it. I
You don't
wish that
see
would
it.
be cool.
Just Oba-Femi's music hits out of nowhere. And I did that would shock the wrestling world at this point, but
I think we see that on Monday. Like Roman comes out all victorious, talking his whole big game, and then doom, doom. He comes out and be like, "Hey, Mister, don't think I forgot about my opportunity," and then challenges him the week after or the next big event. Like I don't know,
yeah.
but that doesn't seem like a Monday night event, and that's not really a Money in the Bank event, and there's nothing big going on. So that might have to be Monday in
I mean,
some way.
you could always do you could always make a big title match for a future Raw like weeks in advance. You know, like they did for Punk versus Braun Breaker. I mean, for the New Year Raw. I mean, that was box office, and they built that for a couple weeks. That was a box office match, and you know, WWE can book a box office show, box office championship match whenever they want to on a Raw if they wanted to. You know, but I think we could start seeing the seeds planted for Oba Roman in the future. Not right away, but it's just a hypothetical. Now, I want to ask you one question. If there is one big thing that you are counting on to happen this SummerSlam weekend, what would it be? Like I said, I think we're getting. I think it's possible. I don't know for sure, but if you would want WWE to do one big thing this weekend at SummerSlam, I that would have people talking and buzzing the next day. I would turn Cody Rhodes heel. So if there's one big thing, one big takeaway that you would love to see happen this weekend, what would it be?
I think you're spot on. Like they really have not done a good job building. I don't think that there's really any outcomes that I'm not either 50-50 on and like either one works for me or ones that I'm like 99.9% sure are happening. And like you've alluded to before, we're normally pretty good on our predictions. So I think when we both agree on a lot of what's going on, we're normally in the writers' minds, which makes sense. Um, so I think just Cody turning heel, and like I said, that's not even really a mind blowing experience because you and I and a lot of the wrestling world have been talking about it. So
But we've been talking about it in a way in which we've been wanting it. You
now
know,
you think it's time that we get what we want.
and that is just you got to make a change here. We got to freshen up the product a little bit. We got to change. Um, we got to change the title picture up a little bit. Have Cody turn heel, win the belt, and have him go against different opponents that maybe he never otherwise would have gone against if he was a face.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, let's just tell a different story.
Well, and here's my thing too.
And Punk could use a heel change. He can use a heel turn too, in my opinion. But
They could both end up heel after this weekend, like no question. Like they could give us the most boring match ever, and just both turn heel and be like, they could end up being a tag team together as heels. Like there's
even in this Roman Reigns Seth Rollins feud, like I can't even tell who's the heel. I mean, there's been times where Seth Rollins acted like a heel. There's been times where Seth Rollins acted like the face, and Roman Reigns acted like the heel. Even like Jey Uso, like you got one week, you know, 1 week is coming out yeeting, and you got the crowd got yeeting, and then you have him and Jimmy, causing all these issues with LA Knight and Solo and all this stuff. Like
And
What
now
the heck?
people are ready to root for LA Knight and Solo. So it's like, who do you have in the face here? It's like you said, Roman, Jimmy, and Jay together all get rooted. But now you're putting them up against, I mean, Royce Keys, nobody gives a shit about. I hate to say it like that. But then you have Solo, who's now become a comedy face, and LA Knight, who's been a face forever. So it's very, very strange how the faces have turned.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like I said, like I couldn't even tell you who's the heel and who's the face, and it's Roman Seth the program. And
Seth did say in his
Jay
promos
Uso's
in
he's
that episode,
in 1 week and acting like a heel, and next week it's weird. It's very weird.
Seth did allude to that and said that he's always going to be the
Bad
bad
guy.
guy against Roman. And I mean, it makes sense because he killed the Shield. Like, that is the vision in everybody's mind when Roman and Seth are in the ring together, is the chair shot heard around the world. So that's always going to be everyone's mindset. And Roman is still Roman Reigns. Like, the dude has lost 2 matches over the last 7 years of wrestling.
Basically.
I
Yeah.
don't know if that's an exact stat, but I feel
That's
like that's
almost about
probably
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, that pretty much covers our SummerSlam predictions, and that covers our WWE show this week. Do you have any last minutes, comments, concerns, any emotional outbursts?
No, I'm just fine. No, I wish I did. Honestly, I'm glad I don't. I think I'm calm, copacetic, and hoping that life just continues on this nice kind of kiddie roller coaster instead of being the gosh darn King Ka that other people are dealing with. I'm kind of on. I don't know if you remember the green little dragon roller coaster they used to have at like every like county fair, but it was just a little up and down, nothing. My life's like that roller coaster right now. I'll take it, nice and smooth.
I hope we get a very good show this weekend, despite the build. I hope we get good matches. I hope we get good outcomes. I hope we get some surprises, because honestly, next Tuesday, I want to have a better conversation about the state of WWE than what we did have even this week.
I think
But
they're gonna need guys who really write like the matches to write some stellar matches. Like, that's what's gonna have to run. Like, that's what's gonna have to win these 2 nights. The storytelling wasn't there, so now every match is gonna have to be 15 minutes of just banger after banger. Like Sheamus used to say, banger after banger after banger.
absolutely. For those of you guys that are watching, thank you so much. Brandon was back. It's great to have you back this week after a couple weeks. And then I even took off last week because I needed it. So it was good to just have a break, a little bit of a break going into SummerSlam. We will be back on Thursday night, myself and Shiv, talking AEW Dynamite and the road to AEW All In. So that will be this week. Who knows? Maybe we'll throw some content on Friday. And then we'll have our Sunday night pay-per-view, SummerSlam PLE pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it these days, post-show after the show is over. So look for that. One of our biggest shows of the year. And back next Tuesday to discuss, no pun intended, to get Brandon's thoughts on SummerSlam and Raw and any big news that may come up. So we got a lot going on in the next couple of days. But for those of you guys that are watching, make sure you stay tuned. Share this with your friends. If you're listening on the podcast, Spotify or iTunes, be sure to check in on our YouTube channel for all this content and hit that subscribe button as out. Help us out. Those of you guys that are watching, thank you so much. Brandon, have yourself a good week, why don't you?
Thank you. Same to you.
Agility from the champion.
Oh, Jimmy!